Right, Miss Golden Girl here, and this is the end product of the greens. Don't they look good? They taste good too. I had me about 3 servings today, Saturday. Um, when I come in from work tomorrow morning, I'm going to make me some hot water cornbread. I'm going to be eating greens on Sunday. But I'm going to bag up some of these greens and put them in the freezer so that I can have greens for the next couple of weeks. All right. My end product of the greens. It's a work in progress. But it's worth it. It's worth it. Okay, I bagged up 2 bags. And so that would be 2 weeks to have greens. 1 bag for each for the next 2 weeks. Good morning, Miss Golden Girl here, and it's Sunday, March the 16th, 2025, and I'm getting ready to make some hot water cornbread. I've got my yellow cornmeal by Quaker. This is the meal that I use to make my hot water cornbread. I've got some baking powder. I've got some salt, and I'm going to put a tablespoon of sugar in it and a tablespoon of flour. I got my oil heating up, got my water on. Let's see if I move down. Okay, there's my water heating up. My oil is heating up in my electric skillet. As a reminder, I am in my employee housing at my job at the Peaks in Colorado. So what I have is a kitchenette, which is a counter with a big sink. I have a mini refrigerator, microwave. So I have purchased small appliances, I should say, to help complement my kitchenette. So I have a 1-eye burner electric skillet. I made greens yesterday, so I ate greens yesterday without hot water cornbread because by the time I got the greens, I'm turning my oil off. I shouldn't have turned it on yet, my water. Usually I let the water get hot and boiling before I turn the oil on. I guess I'm anxious. I just got off work. I worked from 11:30 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. So yesterday, all that I could accomplish in between sleeping and my time-consuming process of, preparing the greens. So today I am doing the hot water cornbread. And I will have that with my greens before I lay down. Hey, that's my breakfast. I'm the kind of person, food is food. I can eat it any time of the day. I don't have to have breakfast food for breakfast. I have whatever is there that I want. So this morning for breakfast, I want some greens with hot water cornbread. Today may be a day that I just have one meal. I don't know. I'll see. All right then, stay tuned. I'll be back once I get the, ooh, I didn't get that turned off, did I? All right, there, I actually got the electric skillet turned off. The water's not starting to boil. I want it to get real hot, so that's what cooks that meal, is that the water is steaming, boiling hot. But I'll be back and show you my hot water cornbread cakes. They should be a golden yellow. Yay, Miss Golden Girl. All right, I'll be back. Okay, you see how my water is boiling hot? Here's my mixture. I ended up using a cup, 1.5 cups of cornmeal. I added salt. I just sprinkled the salt in. I added 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And I got everything stirred up. My oil, I got that turned back on. Now what I'm going to do is, once I add the water and get the mixture to the consistency that I want, I'm going to add some oil. Usually I scoop out a tablespoon at a time. Maybe I end up using about 2 tablespoons of the hot oil. Add that to my mixture. And then I take this spoon and I dip my meal batter out and I make my hot water cornbread that way. All right, stay tuned. I will be back with the finished product. All right, this is the meal batter. And so I make sure I stir down to the bottom, because you want to make sure you get all your meal saturated. I've put the oil in. And you can see how it is, how it's dropping. I don't like it too soupy. And then I want to make sure I've learned from experience. I started making this when I was a girl. My dad taught me. I'm telling you, I could prepare a meal when I was in junior high school, which I did. I was cooking even in elementary school. So I've been cooking for a long time. And my dad liked hot water cornbread, and I liked Jiffy cornbread. So we would go a little around and around about that. I tried to convince him, okay, I'll add some Quaker meal to the Jiffy so it won't be so cakey. But as I've gotten older, I have come to appreciate hot water cornbread. All right, stay tuned. Okay, as you can see, I have 4 in the oil frying. And I pretty much like to have enough oil so that it is almost covering it. Now this is the spoon that I use to dip the batter out with. And once they finish frying, I will coat them with some butter. I'm going to even melt the butter. Melted butter. I brush them on both sides. Just look how that's golden yellow. Hey! Miss Golden Girl is making hot water cornbread. My golden cakes out of yellow Quaker meal. Yellow, not white, yellow. So I have turned the patties, hot water cornbread patties, over again. They should be ready to come out here soon. I'll put them on this and let them drain, and got my butter all melted. And I've got enough meal batter left to probably make 2 or 3 more hot water cornbread patties. I was able to get 3 smaller patties out of what was remaining. I have brushed these with butter on both sides. So I'm going to be ready for some good eating. This is my strainer, and I'm using it as a fruit bowl. When I go grocery shopping, doing my grocery haul every other week, driving into Montrose, Colorado, I get myself 2 bananas, 2 oranges, and 2 apples. So I go to do the grocery haul every other week. I go on pay week.